The Galactic Council chambers fell silent as the ancient blast doors groaned open for the first time in 3 centuries. Ambassador Zixith of the Hegemony clutched his ceremonial staff with trembling appendages, watching as shadows danced across the polished floors. The other delegates, representatives of 12 species that had ruled the galaxy since humanity's exile, shifted nervously in their biopods and atmospheric suits. Then she walked in. Even after 300 years, every being in the chamber recognized her instantly. Queen Lyra Thorne, the last Empress of Terra, moved with the same predatory grace that had once made entire armadas retreat without firing a shot. Her auburn hair, now streaked with silver, caught the chamber's ambient light. The ceremonial crown of Earth, forged from the metals of humanity's first starships, sat upon her brow like a declaration of war. "Honored delegates," she said, her voice carrying across the vast chamber without amplification. Human vocal cords, evolved for persistence and projection, made even a whisper sound like thunder in the carefully controlled environment. "I trust you remember me." Chancellor Vordan of the Crystalline Hegemony was the first to find his voice. His translucent form flickered with nervous energy. Impossible. The humans were banished beyond the void barrier. The dimensional locks were child's play, Lyra interrupted, taking another step forward. The sound of her boots on the marble floor echoed like gunshots. "Did you truly believe that the species which conquered death, bent space-time to their will, and turned dying stars into nurseries for new worlds could be contained by your barriers?" The Keth delegate, Ambassador Srill, extended his sensory tentacles in a gesture of diplomatic inquiry. "Your Majesty, if I may, why have you returned?" The Treaty of Omega Station clearly stated. Lyra's laugh was like breaking glass. "The treaty? You mean the document you forced my ancestors to sign after you poisoned our homeworld's sun? After you turned our colonies against us with promises of independence that you never intended to keep?" She paused, studying each delegate in turn. "Tell me, Ambassador Srill, how has that independence worked out for the former human colonies?" The silence that followed was damning. Every being in the chamber knew the answer. The 12 species had carved up humanity's former territories like vultures, enslaving those humans who remained, strip-mining their worlds, erasing their culture. "We come before you today," announced Zixith, attempting to regain some semblance of authority, "as representatives of the lawful governments of—" "You come before me as thieves and murderers," Lyra said quietly, but her words carried such venom that several delegates physically recoiled. "Did you think we would simply disappear? Did you imagine that humanity, the species that refused to bow to entropy itself, would quietly accept annihilation?" She gestured, and the chamber's main display activated, showing star maps that made every delegate's blood run cold. Red markers indicated human settlements, thousands of them, scattered across regions of space that should have been impossible to reach or survive in. "We've been busy," Lyra continued conversationally. 3 centuries is a long time, even by galactic standards. Long enough to establish colonies in dimension rifts you didn't know existed. Long enough to hollow out dead stars and turn them into forge worlds. Long enough to make contact with species beyond your little corner of reality. Species that remember when humanity helped them achieve consciousness, defended them from the void hunters, shared technology freely without demanding tribute. The Hegemony's military advisor, General Kresh, activated his combat form, a massive exoskeleton bristling with weapons. "You speak as if you could threaten the combined might of 12 civilizations. You are one ship, one woman, one—" The lights went out. Emergency lighting cast eerie shadows as every delegate's personal shields activated simultaneously. In the red glow, Lyra seemed to have multiplied. No, the chamber was full of humans. Tall, short, dark, pale, young, old, but all bearing the same terrifying confidence that had once made humanity the galaxy's reluctant peacekeepers. "One woman?" Lyra's voice now came from everywhere and nowhere. "General Kresh, did you forget who taught your species about quantum entanglement? About consciousness transfer? About existing in multiple states simultaneously? The humans weren't holograms or tricks of light. They were real, solid, impossibly present despite the chamber's legendary security. Some carried weapons that hummed with barely contained energy. Others stood empty-handed, which somehow seemed more threatening. We are no longer the humans you banished," Lyra continued as the lights returned. The other humans had vanished as suddenly as they'd appeared, leaving only her standing before the panicked delegates. "We are what you forced us to become. We are the children of exile, forged in the space between dimensions, tempered by centuries of your hatred." Ambassador Zixith's staff clattered to the floor. What do you want?" "Justice," Lyra said simply. "The galaxy will be returned to its natural state, free of your tyranny, your exploitation, your small-minded cruelty. Humanity will resume its role as guardian of the innocent and enemy of oppressors. You cannot fight all of us." General Kresh snarled. "Our fleets number in the millions. Your fleets are already gone." The chamber's displays flickered again, showing real-time footage of the largest military installation in hegemony space. Where massive dreadnoughts had been docked an hour ago, only empty berths remained. No explosions, no debris, just absence. "We learned much in our exile," Lyra said, adjusting her crown with casual indifference to the chaos erupting around her. "We learned that mercy is wasted on those who show none to others. We learned that some civilizations must be ended so that others may live." She turned to leave, then paused at the threshold of the blast doors. "You have 72 hours to begin evacuating the human colonies you've enslaved and returning the artifacts you stole from our worlds. After that," she smiled, and it was the most terrifying expression any of them had ever seen. "After that, you'll discover why legends of human fury echo in dimensions you haven't learned to pronounce." The blast doors closed behind her with finality. In the chamber, 12 species that had thought themselves the masters of the galaxy sat in stunned silence, finally understanding that they had not banished humanity's queen. They had created her,